I needed help, my nigga, but I never even asked. I just got up off my ass. I just got up off my ass. All the pain from my past and get up off your ass. I needed help, my nigga, but I never even asked. I just got up off my ass. Seven listen, words from the fourth dimension, vibrations, manifesting me in picture, ideology, death to all religion, wind up what your spirit missing, on a journey to ascension, back to reality, posted in the kitchen, busting down physics, magazines for the issues, pills and pizzles, flowers from the hollows whistle, glass sharing, transparent transactions, cities celebrating fashion, I'm passionate, no relaxing, don't open the pot, I get it cracking. Oh God, you get some fraction. I'm too surrounded by cocaine and them niggas and punks. I'm representing one side, nigga. Even if the mean getting jumped, I'm a rebel with a cause of a universal laws, 30 degrees, elegant, unthough. I came on my walk, manifesting my wisdom. I am him. Sensuals all on my lip. Till my grip, drop me a chill. Visuals created through my pitch, with no beginning or no end. You couldn't survive what the fuck I've been. Peace, peace, peace. I come in today's cipher in the righteous name of Allah, bearing the righteous attribute, master, elegant, and law. Today, I want to get on this build of how I got into the knowledge of ciphers. I call it the knowledge of ciphers because at the time when I was getting the knowledge, I didn't even know really what I was looking for. It was a time of my life where I was lost, especially before I even came to this particular place. I was in prison. I was in prison when I decided to really, you know what I'm saying, get into self-development. So when I got into prison, I started studying Islam because I'm like, hey, everybody be on the Islam real heavy. In this bitch, you know, I had to see what the fuck it was about. Why everybody go in prison and come out Muslims. I had to go see what was going on. So I got off into it, you know what I'm saying? I got to dealing with some Sunnis in quarantine, going to the service. They gave me my shahada or whatever. But, you know, at that time, I really didn't understand the oath I was taking. And then I got to dealing with and then from quarantine, if anybody familiar with Michigan prison, they sent me to Earth, Upper Regional Facility over the Mackinac Island Bridge. The first prison they sent me to, savage prison too. So my brother, you know what I'm saying? My brother Bingo, he should be home within the next few days. He did 10 years. Prior to me going, he was already in there maybe like 2 or 3. He was telling me, no, bro, don't get in there gambling and gang banging. You know what I'm saying? Get you some knowledge, this, that, and the third. I'm like, for sure. You know, he my little brother. He like 2 years younger than me. You know what I'm saying? So he a little bit knocked that little. I'm like, all right, whatever. Anyway, so I got off into the Sunni Muslim thing. I got to learn about, you know, the Shahada, making Salat, you know, Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you know what I'm saying? And as I was there, it was like, this is pretty much Christianity. And I started to feel like, damn, so I must have been praying to my God wrong or something because it landed me here in this, you know what I'm saying, dismal crypt in the penitentiary. So I decided to, you know, learn all the customs. You know, like right now it's Ramadan. I still, you know, somewhat Ramadan. I can't fully do it because of my ailment. I have Crohn's disease. But so I started to learn, and the more I learned, the more intrigued about it I got. I was like, okay, this shit peace. You know what I'm saying? This is something I can vibe with. But I didn't really know what was going on. It was just, you know, the rituals and, you know what I'm saying, the words of power that were being used within the ceremony of, Jumu'ah, and when you make a salat, when you point towards the east, it's a lot going on there that I wasn't understanding. And the more I did it, the more open I became, the more shit. But like I said, I was in prison. So my mind was kind of still in savage mode, especially with my children being out in the free cipher, in and out of foster care and shit. Well, not even in and out, in foster care, going through hellified, a lot of shit. While I'm sitting in the penitentiary for, making a careless mistake, not thinking about the decisions I make 360 degrees. Anyway, that's besides the point. So what I did was I stopped doing the Muslims. I really didn't stop doing Muslims. I was still learning. I was still making salat. But then I got to, dealing with the God divines against the disciples. I got to dealing with them, in a free cipher. That's what I consider myself. So that's what them the guys I ran amongst. And, I was one of them before I came to the penitentiary. That's how I seen myself. That was what I identified with. Not knowing to the degree of like like I know now. That's what I identify with. That's what a lot of guys still identify with. I see that shit to a whole nother level, but that's another video. Now, when I started to rotate with the Gangster Disciples in the penitentiary, I was also rotating with the Muslims, as they would call it. In prison, you can't do that shit. Not in Michigan prisons anyway. That shit is like, that shit get you killed. Because what if the Muslims fall out with the GDs, and whose side you gonna take? And then, not only that, with Islam representing love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, that 5-point star, depending on what sect you're dealing with, them is like, that's a war sign, like, to some other people, to like, the opposite side, like to the G's. At that particular time, at this time we wasn't really at war, but it was just like, no, we don't fuck with y'all because of the history and the things of that nature. But when it came down to niggas beefing or whatever, the Muslims, they kind of naturally fell in with the Muslims. The Muslims naturally fell in with, the vice lords, the ones who claim the five. Some bloods who claim the five too. And they naturally fell in them because their literature is, they open up with the Fatiha, which is the first prayer you open up with when you make the salat, when you, when you praying. When you making, let me see, how can I put this? Hold on, y'all, one second. Anyway, when you making prayers, when you make prayers to Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is dealing with Allah from, Sunni Islam. Sunni Islam is what I'm gonna call it, So when when I finally, because me being, dealing with the six my whole life, representing GD, being from, my neighborhood was, GD and Crip neighborhood. I grew up around that shit, in that shit, so that's what it was. That's what we all was. Because that's what the fuck we was taught. That's what we seen. So, make long story short, I started rotating with the GDs, and the GDs got to telling me like, no, the Muslims actually got to telling me, then like, you can't rotate with the GDs. I'm like, what do you mean rotate with the GDs? This is I thought this was religion. I didn't think this was no, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, the fuck you mean rotate with the at the time? Like, I just been in prison. I want to say, not even a whole year yet. I don't really even know what the fuck prison politics is. So I got on that shit. They got telling me you gonna have to choose sides. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't come to Juma and then, you know, and be a part of that because you them guys ain't right. But Parcel Born Universal Truth, when I was coming through on a GDism tip, they was telling me like, you know what I'm saying, we righteous brothers. We not just out here just trying to do, devilishment. Basically, you know what I'm saying? We righteous people. We righteous dudes. We not just out here doing shit just to be doing it. We doing this shit to take care of our families and protect our neighborhoods. This is what I was taught. I was taught a person talking about your color, your flag, or the where you wear your hat is disrespecting your neighborhood and they're threat to your neighborhood. Which is all go back to another psychology, which I'll be getting to in another video. But I'm telling y'all my journey so y'all can see how I got my angle. Because everybody angle on the science ain't the same. We all see it the same, but we don't crack atoms on it the same. You know what I'm saying? It's probably the same thing, just in a different package. You know what I'm saying? Some give you meat, some give you baby food. I'm giving you black matter because I'm giving you self. I'm not, you can take it or leave it. I'm not giving you, you know what I'm saying? I'm giving you my understanding. And I'm giving you what helped me, my tools. That's why I call it ultra instinct. This is my philosophy. Anyway, so the Muslim dude, like, yeah, you can't keep coming over here praying with us and you going to GD meetings, you quoting GD literature, you out in the yard doing GD functions, and then on Friday you come into Juma. I'm like, huh? For sure. I kind of took it as a threat. I'm gonna have to get back to this video, y'all, man. I know where I'm at. Peace.